slots.
What's up, fam? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of TSC Unleashed. We in the building, man. TSC Unleashed Friday edition, man. We got a jam-packed show we're gonna talk to y'all about. Man, we're gonna talk a little NFL. Of course, what happened with Joey B and the Browns last night. We'll cover that today. As well, we got the NBA playoffs matchup we'll come at you with today with the Heat and the Celtics. What's going on there in the 7-game series? I think it's going to happen, but right now the Heat taking control of the series, man, in major capacity. We'll talk a little NFL news today. We'll also talk a little college football and high school football today with Uncle Mozzie. So as soon as he gets, he had a computer issue. As soon as he gets ready, we'll get him back on here as well. So I like to say what's going on to the great family members tuning in to TSC Unleashed. Please hit the like button. Thank you for your support on this stream of TSC Unleashed. I see you, Brian Pearson, in the building. Big ups to you, brother Jerry, and Jeremiah in the building as well. Good to see the family and appreciate your support on TSC Unleashed. So please hit the like button as well as we move forward. Now, like I said, I'm Big Q. We'll have Uncle Mozzie. He'll chime in momentarily. His computer crashed, and he'll get back up, and we'll go over it. But until he gets here, we're gonna run through one of the games. A pretty exciting game last night, man. That happened between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns, man. And you know, we Joey B guys here, man. And Joey B, man, if he had a little help defensively, they might have won this game, man. But he put on his affair wasn't that bad. But we're gonna give the Baker Mayfield and the Browns some credit. 16 of 23 for Baker Mayfield, 219, averaged almost 10 yards per throw, 2 touchdowns, had a pick in the game. Nick Chubb was the man, 22 carries, 124 yards, over 6 yards per carry, and then he had 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt was big too, 10 carries, 86 yards, averaged almost 9 yards a carry, and have 1 touchdown. And that's what we was talking about using, and I said that yesterday on the TSC Unleashed Thursday edition, that the Browns need to lean on their running attack, and boy did they do it. 35 carries for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and it was the main reason why this team was able to take the victory, to be honest with you. Odell Beckham, 4 catches, 74 yards. He got a touchdown going on 6 targets there. Jarvis Landry, 3 catches, 46 yards in the affair. 3 for 3 as far as his targets, receptions, and targets go. It was awesome, man, to see some of them finally get going. They have all those pieces, and it's weird to see them not being able to move and do what they want to do. Top tackler for the Browns was Andrew Sandale, 10 tackles on the night, and it just was pretty good, man, to be honest with you, how these guys were able to do it. The problem with Cincinnati, man, not to take anything away from Cleveland, they won the game. They dominated the line of scrimmage. That's when it comes down to. They dominated the line of scrimmage. And when that happens, that team who's dominating, they'll never be stable. And that's what happened with this. The Cleveland Browns offensive line dominated the defensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals and got them out of here. So what we got to deal with here is that when line of scrimmage battles happen, that's what happens. Joey Burrow, 37 of 61. That's right, 61 attempts Joey Burrow had yesterday. 37 out of 61. 316 yards, and then he had 5.2 yards throwing. 5.2 yards every time he threw the ball. He had 3 touchdowns. He was sacked 3 times. 90.6 rating on the day, but 61 attempts for a rookie quarterback in his second game, man. And they only still lost by 5 points. Joe Mixon, 16 carries for 46 yards. He was pretty much a non-factor. Averaged less than 3 yards a run in the matchup. And that goes to show you, like I was saying before, man, the line of scrimmage. Cleveland won the line of scrimmage. They beat them on the offensive side, and they beat them on the defensive side. They one-dimensionalized the running attack. They took the running attack away from Cincinnati and forced Joey Burrow to beat him. And he couldn't do it by himself. Tyler Boyd, 7 catches, 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Drew Sample, the tight end, 7 catches, 45 yards. Uzama had the tight end had 4 catches, 42 yards, and the score Joe Mixon 4 catches for 40 yards. On a day, T. Higgins even got going, 3 catches for 35 yards. Their version of Mike Thomas, 4 catches, 31 yards, and 1 touchdown in the matchup as well. AJ Green, very, very low numbers. He had 3 catches for 29 yards in the matchup. And Joey Burrow fumbled twice. He lost one of those, but can I tell you, 10 tackles for Jesse Bates III in this one as he led his team in tackles from Spectre. So what happened with this matchup? The Browns 35-30. They take it because they won the scrimmage war. They won the line of scrimmage battle. That's what it comes down to. They stopped Cincinnati from running, and Cincinnati couldn't stop them from running. It's as simple as that, right? Simple as that. All right, we're gonna reflect back to this as soon as Mozzie gets back in the building, man. His computer crashed on him, and we'll have him momentarily. So we're gonna revisit this topic when he jumps back on. Okay, let's move to the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics matchup that was on last night as well. And I thought that the Celtics would even the series here. But you know what happened? They didn't. And they didn't because Miami says, no, I'm not going to let you even the series. They win 106-101. Bam Adebayo, man, is a beast. He's not just a shot blocker and rebound, but he'll get you some points too. He had 21 on 35 minutes, 10 of 16 in the field. He finished with 21 points, 10 rebounds. He had a block, and he also had 4 assists. Bam Adebayo is a major part of what they're doing there. Goran Dragic was the team leader. He had 25 points in 34 minutes, 10 of 19, 3 of 7, 2 of 2 from the free throw line as well. 25 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Goran Dragic kind of led the way points-wise. Jimmy Butler had only 14 points in this game, but was pretty good defensively. 14 out of 14 points, 36 minutes, 4 of 11 from the field. In the matchup, he finished. But when you're a good team, you guys don't always have to shine. They play well as a team. Robinson, the guard, in 32 minutes, he had 18 points as well. 6 of 12 from the field, 6 of 12 from downtown, and he did his thing. He helped out with 18 points in a role, and then even Crowder got involved, threw in 12 points in 36 minutes. 11 points off the bench from Tyler Hero. That's all the kid do is come in and ball and give him double-digit pointage off the bench every game. Major part of what they're doing. And of course, the Boston Celtics, man, in the matchup. Jason Tatum, 21 points in 42 minutes of action. 6 of 12 from the field, was 0 of 2 from downtown, but he finished with 21 and 5 rebounds in the matchup. 23 points for Kemba Walker, who led all scores for Boston. He finally woke up in 34 minutes. He was 9 of 19 from the field, 4 of 11 from the three-point line, 1 of 2. He finished with 23 points and 7 rebounds, 3 assists in the matchup. Marcus Smart, 38 minutes. He was 5 of 13, 2 of 6 from downtown, 2 of 2 from the line, 14 points for Marcus Smart. Jaylen Brown, 39 minutes. He was 8 of 14, 2 of 4 from the three-point line, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 21.6 rebounds from him in the matchup, and really no solid production off the bench to help them in this game. Just 7 points for Brad Wanamaker off the bench, actually, and 9 for Enes Kanter in 11 minutes when he went 4-4, and also snatched 6 rebounds. So, man, once again, the Heat 106-101 due to the defense, due to the fact that they're playing better team basketball. Spoelstra versus Stevens, man, and right now it's Coach Spoelstra. Miami, did anybody pick Miami to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals? And did anybody, and I'm pretty sure not too many people picked that to happen, and then have Miami sitting up here with a 2-0 lead on Boston, and we'll see if they can push it to 3-0, man. Because, man, listen, they are playing absolutely amazing basketball, and they're relaxed. It's almost be like they know, hey, man, nobody picked us to be here, so let's just have fun. And boy, they they ran through the Bucks. They're up 2 on the Celtics. A lot of people picked the Celtics to be there, but Miami is wearing that underdog coat. They're wearing that underdog coat, man, and they're feeling real comfortable with it, man. That's man, big things going with the Miami Heat, man. They could easily be in the NBA Finals this year. No doubt about it. All right, let's move on to tonight's main game. 8 o'clock Central Time tonight. The Nuggets and the Lakers. This is the first of the Western Conference Finals. That's right, the Western Conference Finals. LeBron and AD meet up with the Joker and the Nuggets in this matchup. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly what goes on in this matchup. A lot of people have the Lakers losing this game. I mean, customary of the last 2 series, the Lakers always lose the first game, right? They allowed the opponent to not hit them with the first shot, and then the Lakers reel off 4 straight wins and eliminate them. That's been a role in the last 2 series. You know, is that going to happen in this series? I don't think so, man. What the Joker has done, I don't expect this series to go 7, but I do because of it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because with the Lakers, they have a package they can roll out several 7-footers against Jokic to slow him down, and their 7-footers are pretty mobile. You have JaVale McGee, who you can stick on him. You have Dwight Howard, who you can plug to him. You can even rotate Anthony Davis at him. You know, and then to be honest with you, those big guys, they move pretty well for 7-footers. They're not big stiff ass 7-footers. You know, they can come out there and guard you if they need be. And then, you know, if they have to try to make a run to the rim run to make a shot block, they can do that. So I mean, listen, the Lakers, they have an interesting matchup with Jokic, but the key thing is we got to neutralize what Jokic does. You know, because when he starts getting everybody else involved with his passing, the Nuggets are really something else. Jamal Murray is another special additive, but the Nuggets need a third scorer to step up, and Gary Harris is not. He's been neither here nor there, and he's been spotty at best. But is it time for Michael Porter Jr. to step up and show what he can do in the series? You know what I'm saying? A lot of big expectations on Michael Porter Jr. And I know the kid can play, but will Coach Malone let this guy gather the necessary minutes to play? Because they're going to need his production. He is an interesting matchup for the Lakers. I'm just going to keep it real with you. So Nuggets Lakers game 1, Lakers lose the first game. Is that how it goes? Then they reel off 4. We'll see, man. But either way, it'll be very interesting. But I expect probably that might be the result. Nuggets might come out and beat the Lakers in game 1. But then again, I think the Lakers are upset the trend. They'll probably beat the Nuggets in this first matchup. I want to see what Coach Frankie V does and how he plays Jokic, because the key things, you want to beat the Nuggets, you got to slow down Jokic and how he gets other people involved. All right, let's keep going, fam. Let's go on to some NFL football, and he's going to talk about the Dallas Cowgirls. That's right, the Dallas Cowgirls. But we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowgirls and the fact that they are really reeling with injuries going on right now. Amari Cooper is questionable. He's dealing with a foot situation. We know about Vanderlei and him being out. Tyron Smith, one of their top offensive linemen, he's questionable with a neck situation. Eldon Smith, who they just activated not too long ago, he's also questionable. So the Cowgirls are hurting, man, and it's interesting. They're complaining. There's a lot of injuries all over the place, and it's interesting, hopefully, that they can get together and make it interesting, because their next opponent is the Falcons. So they have the Falcons in Jerry's World, and that's a 12 o'clock game on Sunday that we want to see at least the 2 hated opponents. The Cowboys is our most hated opponent to the west of us, and the most hated opponent to the east of us is the Atlanta Falcons. So we got the hate bowl going on, the most hated bowl going on between the Dallas and the Falcons. But if you have to cheer for somebody in this matchup, I would cheer for the stinking Dallas Cowgirls to beat the Falcons because of obvious reasons. They're in the NFC South or whatnot. So let's keep it going, man. Just wanted to sprinkle that on the family members dealing with that as well. And the NFL, it's interesting, man. But being that we don't have pretty much nothing to do on that Sunday, we're gonna be chilling. Our game is on Monday. Might need a few games to watch, and that would probably be the first game that you will see that's on your television, to be honest with you. All right, let's keep it going. Let's move on to the college ranks. Talking a little college football for this upcoming Saturday, man. And FBS is back in full effect, and a matchup, just giving you guys a bevy of some of the Saturday matchups that's going to be happening. Some of the top ranking matchups that are going to be happening that should mean something. Well, I mean, you look at Louisiana. Louisiana, according to ESPN, is ranked number 19 in the country. They take on Georgia State this weekend. They're at Georgia State. You got Tulsa against number 11 ranked Oklahoma State. Austin Peay against number 13 Cincinnati. Pittsburgh hosts Sacramento, Houston at Baylor. And then if you look at with Tulane, we don't really talk about Tulane that much. Maybe we need to stop that. But Tulane opens up, against, they have a game at Yeoman Stadium against, that's right, the Navy team. Can Tulane kind of build on their season, what they did last year? We'll see. But a lot of different ranked games. USCF number 14 ranked against Georgia Tech this Saturday, and a bunch of other really interesting contests, including number 1 Clemson. They're going to destroy the Citadel, no doubt about it. They host them. You got number 17 Miami against number 18 Louisville. That's in the play. So a lot of interesting matchups, including Charlotte at number 12 North Carolina, number 21 BYU at number 22 Army, and a few other matchups involved as well. So at least Saturdays have some decent matchups for you, right? But I know if you're a New Orleans fan, you might like Tulane. I don't know, but Tulane will be hosting the Navy. So for Saturday, if you're kicking your feet up and chilling, that might be a game, man. Then again, I don't know. I don't think the Sports Coma will be broadcasting Saturday either or Sunday. So we'll push all that stuff back to Monday. So we'll see. But anyway, that'll do it for that. And then we'll move on to I was going to have Fob to bring in some his commentary about the high school game. And we'll bring him in right here to add it in. All right, Fob, welcome to the show, my friend. We are live and in effect. We done covered a lot of stuff. I know your computer crashed on you. We are live right now.
Computer crashed on me, man. Yeah, bro. You know what that was? Wasn't nobody but Kev. Kev snuck in my computer, in my shop, and rigged my computer so I couldn't do the show today. But I had a trick for him. I got a computer tech on standby. I ain't letting it go down like that. You gonna hear me today. Ha ha. Last day of the week, ha ha. Here I go, bro, Kev. Fan, where y'all at? I know I'm the one y'all love to hate. I'm the new NWA. Uncle Mozzie, the Swami. Go ahead, bro. I don't mean that.
All right, Uncle Mozzie.
Active, bro.
No, I appreciate you coming in and filing, Uncle Mozzie. We went through pretty much all the topics, man, but you can feel free to revisit whatever ones that you would like as we moving forward. I talked about the Bengals and the Browns, Boston, Miami, also previewed the Lakers, Nuggets. We talked a little bit about the Cowboys, and then of course I know that you wanted to talk about throwing your picks in there. So feel free to pick from these stories as you will and give us your breakdown, your thoughts on it.
All right, well, let's chop it up, man. I gotta first, before I do anything, I definitely gotta give big shots out to Joey B. I'm the biggest Joey B fan ever. And man, he was lights out yesterday, bro. But hey, look, bro, I'm gonna have to call who the DA is now, Kansas Zero. I'm gonna have to call the DA, man. And I'm gonna have to get an arrest warrant, bro, for these people, bro. Cause it's a attempt murder, bro. It's aggravated assault out there, bro. They got this man through the ball 61 times. And the line just refused to block. Refused. I couldn't believe what I was watching. They want the man to scramble. They want the man to roll out. They want the man to play action fake. And they want him to throw lights out. He had some really good throws, man. He threw for three tubs, and he had over 300 yards. My issue, he threw the ball 61 times. And I think the game won maybe 37, 30. So this man got like right at 100 balls thrown in 2 games. That's a lot to ask for a first-year player in only his second start. I don't agree with that. The offensive line is atrocious. I mean, absolutely horrid. And they you know what? Looking at Mixon, I don't know where you place him, but I place Mixon top 10, maybe top 15 running backs out of all active running backs. So it's not like they don't have a decent ground attack that they can use to open up the run. They could have utilized that to their skills last night. I think if they'd ran the ball a little bit more, they wouldn't have had that, especially that big turnover that came with Miles Davis, that strip sack that got him down to the 1 yard line that ran the score up to, I think, 28-13 at that point. So with all things said, I think that Cincinnati is on the cusp. They definitely got to rehash that line. They're going to have to find a number 1 target, and they might have to find a decent tight end now, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't go over the injury report, but I think their starting tight end is out for the season with a torn Achilles or a torn hamstring. I'm going to have to double check that. But with that being said, Cincinnati is only a few pieces away. Unlike, segueing over to the Cowgirls, they are loaded with injuries. You know what happened the last time Amari Cooper went out? Dak Prescott folded up. So it's gonna be Zeke time right now, I guess, because without that number one target to throw to, I mean, you do have CD. I don't know if he's gonna be able to step up. If CD steps up, we're not gonna have an issue. But I mean, man, it's really tough to get around Amari because that seems to be Dak's comfort zone. That seems to be his little comfort spot and his go-to guy when all else goes wrong. He'll roll out and just scramble long enough for him to get open off the corner and heave it downfield. Sort of like the call reminds me slightly of Culpepper and Moss. Not to that degree, obviously, but I mean, you got a 260-pound guy running around. You got a linebacker playing quarterback running around that nobody could tackle, and then he heaves it downfield to Amari Cooper after the cornerback's been checking him for like 10 seconds, which is almost impossible. So, I mean, that's just a few of the things that I had, and I did want to go over some locks with you, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, see if you might want to segue into something else. But that's the two topics I want to touch on about Cleveland, the Cleveland-Cincinnati recap, as well as the Cowgirls and the injuries that they're up against. Have you done the Boston Heat recap?
Yeah, we ran through the Boston Heat. You could touch on that too, and after you touch on the Boston Heat deal, I mean, you could basically go into the high school story. I know you wanted to make light of the high school story, and so also go right into your picks.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the picks as well. So, going into the Boston Heat game last night, as I told you, I stayed away from the series because I told you these teams were really evenly matched, and I thought it was gonna come down to experience. Miami is the most experienced team. They're a lot more seasoned. They haven't quite been this far collectively as a unit, but individually, all these guys have put in their work and put in their time, and they played together really, really well. With the addition of Hayward coming back, which he's rumored to come back, hopefully he can come back in the lineup. I don't know how they're going to work it out, but I told you guys that the X factor was going to be Marcus Smart. I don't know if y'all was following the reports last night, but they had a big debacle in the locker room last night with Marcus Smart visibly yelling at the rest of the team, telling them we got to do better. And it was reports that he was beating on walls and slamming tables and all kind of other stuff. Now, we all know that Marcus Smart is the wily veteran on that team, along with Kemba Walker. But again, Marcus Smart is going to be that X factor. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but these games have only been won or lost by a margin of less than 10 points. So it's not 8 to 10 points. So it's not like it's been blowouts like we've seen in some of the other games in the past series. These games are really winnable. They can kind of go either way, all the way down to the last few minutes of the fourth quarter, with game one went into double overtime. So we can see these teams are really, really evenly matched. It's going to come down to veteran leadership prowess and who wants it bad enough.
Right. Well, I mean, I agree with that. I think the Celtics will come back more determined in game three. And Miami, let's see if they can match their intensity, man, because Miami's pretty intense too. Their team is led by...
They're a really good team.
Yeah, they're led by Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, and those guys are intense. And they're defensive driven first. And most like what we talked about our old Pelican coaches back in the day, like Monty Williams, who says our offense is driven by our defense, meaning that the defense sparks the offense. In many cases, you can see the Miami Heat doing that with Bam Adebayo's blocks. And when he not only playing defense, but he's scoring the ball, they're even more difficult. So, I mean, he's just been just out dealing whoever he's matched up with. And they don't have an answer for that, and I wonder if that'll be something that impact the series. But the question is, we know the Celtics are going to bring the intensity in Game 3. Will the Miami Heat be able to match that intensity and still steal a third game away? Because I don't think the Heat, if they get 3 up on you, they're going to you might win one game, but they're not going to let you come back. That's just not that mindset of the team. They got a killer instinct. You let them get ahead of you, they're going to finish you. All right, so, okay, Fab, You want to get into either the picks or you want to talk about the high school story?
Well, yeah, let's talk about the high school story right quick. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to it. It was a breaking story here locally. That was Tuesday, I want to say it was. It was a guy from Denham Springs, a 16-year-old guy from Denham Springs, Remy Hidalgo. He died this morning, actually, the complications from heat stroke that he got Tuesday after having a practice here or practice out in Denham Springs. Then they brought him down to New Orleans, where they interviewed his mother, and his mother said that the doctors were real confident. He was real responsive, and I just don't know what happened around maybe 8:30 this morning. Things just took a turn for the worse, and he died. But the reason I want to touch on this is because, fam, this is a story that we're going to have to kind of stick with, and here's why. This is something that none of us imagined or thought of, but I want y'all to take this ride with me. You got a lot of these high school players, right? A lot of these young high school guys, 14, 15, 16, they just starting to come into their own, and they want that college scholarship bad because they dangle it in those guys' face. That's what they do this for. With a lot of the off-season activities and the spring training and the summer practices taken away from them, they've been relegated to prepare for an entire football season with only 3 to 5 weeks instead of 3 to 5 months. The difference is when you're on a collegiate or the pro level, those guys, their bodies have been developed a little longer. They're a lot more mature from a physical standpoint, and they could take a little bit more endurance, a little bit more pain, and they could play through a lot more. And they know their body. They know their body limits because they've just been doing it at a higher level. High school is not that simple. So I think that the coaching staffs on all of these high school teams across the country, because I'm sure everybody's going through something similar. I think that these coaches have to monitor the players, and I think they need to kind of regulate practice habits and what they're doing at practice. And I think they need to keep a tighter eye on what's going on, because you got to understand, man, a lot of these kids come from, I'm not necessarily saying Remy was, but a lot of these kids come from places where they only have a plan A, which is to get to the league. And that, when it has to start with high school, it has to go through college and eventually to the pros. So when you got these guys like he was as a junior or senior, this season is big. This is when those scholarship offers come in, those letters come in. I got a lot of letters my junior year. Made a lot of trips my junior year to a lot of different colleges to try to get everything focused and informed for college. So that meant everything to me, and I'm sure it means everything and meant everything to Remy, which is something we definitely going to have to pay attention to moving forward. Simply and purely just to make sure that these guys aren't overworking themselves trying to chase a carrot that they may or may not get. They got to keep in mind, and it's going to be tough because they're young, they got to keep in mind that their health is worth more than a scholarship or a potential pro career. And the reason I say that is because if you're dead or you're injured or you can't play because you overworked yourself or did something you shouldn't have done, you won't get that scholarship. You'll never have a chance to make it to the pros. Again, I'm not saying that's exactly what it was in regards to Remy Hidalgo, and my condolences go out to his family. If anybody know him in the Denham Springs area, that's my condolences go out to his family. But this is a situation because we've never been here before. These kids are being asked to get in tip-top shape going into a season in 3 to 5 weeks. That's almost an impossibility, and they're putting this burden on underdeveloped 15 and 16-year-old minds that only have one goal, one drive, one gear, and one plan, and that's to get to college and eventually get to the league. This is something we got to stay on top of. And if you guys know any coaches on a high school level, for that fact matter, even on a biddy level, you got to step to these kids. If any of y'all coaching a biddy or maybe assistant coaches in high school or whatever, you got to kind of be mindful and guide these kids into making some of the right choices, especially taking care of their health moving forward. Because it's a travesty that they survived all of the turmoil of 2020, and on the back end, because of just a simple oversight, misunderstanding, not being hydrated enough, not paying attention, not knowing their limits, we end up with a tragedy that we had this morning. And we gotta make sure, especially with the youth looking forward. I know we get caught up into the game, and a lot of us, we lose our minds when it comes to it. I know I do, because I'm a fan first. But these kids' health and is far more important than any scholarship or potential pro contract that they could ever sign.
All right, well said, Mozzie. I definitely echoed all your condolences to the family, man. And be mindful of that when you're dealing with the health of children. If you're a coach, you have a great responsibility, and that's not always wins, man. You win, but do it the right way, man. Make sure you take care of the children that you're coaching, and if you're at a higher level, be mindful of the player in front of you, man. You know what you're doing. Be mindful of that. Okay, let's move on to your picks, Five.
All right. Well, obviously, I picked last night. I know nobody gonna give me my props for it, but I did tell y'all last night that I love that 6 with Cincinnati. I got the receipts, and I don't mind going back and pull a clip from it. If y'all don't want to give me my roses right now, I will do that. So just be mindful on that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give y'all a couple locks, right? I'm gonna give y'all 5 locks, right? So y'all need to get y'all paper and ink pen, or y'all can mark this down in the broadcast and go back and revisit and listen when y'all filling out your white sheet or going to the casino. First team I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna definitely take Carolina. Carolina's getting 8.5 this week. I think, in my opinion, that's just entirely too much to give Carolina. Carolina didn't play lights out, but they didn't play bad either. And I think that if Bridgewater could just be a game manager, we get McCaffrey going now. Because I don't want anybody to. Well, I'm not a Carolina fan, but we meaning that I'm going with the points. So I don't look at team or have heart in it. I'm just going with the points. Carolina at 8.5. That's awesome. Anybody got any extra money? Y'all got some children? Y'all got some souls? Anything y'all want to put up? Y'all need to go ahead and put that up, man, because that 8.5, I promise you, will be a lock. Next, I want to move over to Denver. Denver's playing this week. They're 7.5 point dogs. 7.5 points for Denver, man. I know we rattled and we got a lot of injuries going on, but 7.5 is just a lot, bro. 7.5 is a lot of points to give up to Denver. Because then again, it's like Carolina. They're not the best team, but when you talk about giving a professional team anything, a touchdown or better, that's just sheer and utter disrespect. There will be no, if at all, there'll be no crowd participation or limited crowd participation. So that 12th man's out of the game. So when you start talking touchdowns are better with pro teams, I gotta ride with the points. That's just what it is. Minnesota, they +3 dogs. So I'm definitely taking Minnesota with that +3. Green Bay giving up 6.5. I love Green Bay giving up 6.5. Aaron Rodgers playing lights out. He understands. I think that he is definitely on deck to either be traded off or to secure his job. We've seen this move from Green Bay before. He was one of the benefactors of it the last time it happened to Brett Favre. So I think that he's playing for his football life in Green Bay, or he's playing for the next contract with whatever team that he gets to next year, should they decide to part ways with Aaron Rodgers. So I'm loving the 6.5 because I think we're gonna get lights out from him all season long. And that's my fantasy quarterback. I got 50 points from him last week, and I'm winning the league, the Sports Coma League. Any of y'all that's interested, I am the Swami. And Kansas City giving up 9. I usually don't do this, but I mean, I don't know if y'all saw that team that was out there Sunday. That's a dangerous team. I got to give up the 9. And I normally don't do that. And I know I just had a big dissertation about giving a professional team that many points, but Kansas City is not normal. That's a team full of aliens. They're giving up 9. I love the 9. I probably would have gave up 12 or 13, to be honest, because these people, it lights out. They reminded me of the 2000, 2001, 1999 St. Louis Rams. That's what I get when I see this team in action. Quarterback's a little bit better. I think overall the team's a lot more athletic. So just imagine, if you will, a more athletic, more deadly 2000 St. Louis Rams offense, and that's what you have with Kansas City. Oh, by the way, this year I think we'll finish top 10, top 15 defense right there in the middle of the pack or higher. So I think Kansas City is definitely a lot to go back to the Super Bowls. I'm thinking Saints in the Super Bowl, Saints and Kansas City in the Super Bowl. But that's my pick. So if y'all didn't get them, I'm taking 8.5 with Carolina. I'm taking 7.5 with Denver, 3 with Minnesota. I'm giving up 6.5 on Green Bay, and I'm laying 9 with Kansas City. And that's Uncle Mozzie's 5 picks.
All right, thank you for that, Uncle Mozzie. Appreciate it. We're gonna keep this on the show records, just in case Mozzie doesn't hit. But he's pretty good on his picks.
You gotta have the receipt.
Right, we got the receipt.
I'm good on my pick. Hey, who picked Denver to go to the Western Conference Finals before the playoffs even started? Who put this together?
I don't know.
Me, that's who. Miss Hawkins. Yeah, this bigger than Nino Brown. Who told you Boston was going in the Eastern Conference with Miami? Me.
You didn't say
Everybody
Miami.
thought I was crazy when I told y'all Miami.
I question you. Did you say Miami?
Pull the receipts. I know I'm gonna give me one. Pull the receipts. Pull the receipts. Pull the receipts. Pull the receipts. Yeah,
Right.
I did that. I gotta get on my Coach Carter. You see them shoes? I tied that. Yeah. So all you gotta do is go to your receipt. Hey, listen, I'm telling you, I'm staying away from that Boston Miami series, but I'm looking for big things out of Denver. I'm gonna see how Denver come out tonight. But you know, if they don't have an answer for the Joker and Jamal Murray gets off and he have his 35, 40-point game, you can look. It's gonna be a problem out in LA. They're gonna know they were there at least. And either way, for Denver, I think it's a win-win situation because they elevated from last year. And as a franchise, that's all you can hope to do year to year is get better. Eventually, yeah, you want to win a title, but you don't want to regress. You don't want to go to the first round and then be out the playoffs, consequently go to the second round and then you bounce to the first round. So as long as we're progressing, then we're fine. We definitely got to see what we're going to get tonight out of the Lakers. They've been off a really long time. Historically, the Lakers don't do well coming off long breaks. So hopefully we can steal one tonight. And then we only got 3 more to go. Who knows?
Well, we'll see, man. That'll be interesting finals coming up tonight, and some good basketball on a Friday night, and some good-looking college for Saturday. Of course, the pro game Sunday and the Monday night when our Saints touch off against the Las Vegas Raiders in what they call the Death Star. So, be interesting to see that. It'll be a fantastic weekend of sports action. So, please enjoy it responsibly. So that'll be it for the TSC Unleashed Friday edition, man. Going into the weekend, man. Uncle Mozzie was going off on his picks. I hope y'all enjoy that, man. And please hit the like button. Please feel free to share the stream on your social media feed. Before we go, I'd like to give a big shout out to our people that supporting the stream today. We got Brain Pearson, Brother Jerry, Jeremiah Smith, Donovan Grayson, Torrey Shepard Sr. as well. Big ups to all the family members chiming in on this edition of the show. Tara, big ups to Tara, who chiming in from Cali. Lee Wood from the Philippines chiming in. What up, Lee? Good to see you in the chat as well, my friend. Brock Pace is also in the building. Thank you for joining us. All the family members and those on the replay. We thank y'all for the support of this TSC Unleashed. It's been over 20-something shows that we've done, families. Just to let y'all know that it is, we appreciate the support from starting this thing out here. And we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. So we'll be back Monday. That's right, Monday, TSC. We'll recap a lot of the action from this past weekend, me and Uncle Mozzie. So thank y'all for joining us today. Peace. Y'all be safe. And we'll talk to you later on TSC later on today. And also tomorrow at noon, Tough Tiger Talk on the Tough Tiger Talk channel, just to let you know. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later, family. Peace.